A year ago, we started raising animals, and after a year of doing it, I wanted to share with you the easiest animals to raise for newbies. We just started homesteading. We had zero experience. We moved from Southern California to Northern Idaho, where we're building our homestead and our dream house. And so if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe and follow along. But we had zero experience. And so I'm not telling you this as an expert. I'm still very new to all of this. But we did learn so much in our first year, especially having, again, no experience. The most we had for animals was dogs, and we still have 2 dogs. But our first year, we got 25 chickens, 3 ducks, and 6 rabbits. And I'm going to tell you what is, in my opinion, the best animals if you're trying to raise animals. So first up, we have chickens, and I never had been around chickens except for like eating Chick-fil-A or going to the store and getting chicken. And so having chickens was a really interesting experience. First thing that I was interested in is that it actually takes quite a while for you to start getting eggs. We did not get any meat birds. We actually got these. We have lavender Orpingtons, chocolate Orpingtons, and I can't remember the other kind. Sorry, guys. We also have some more hens coming this year, which is going to be really exciting. But we started out with 25, and we got what's called a straight run. And if you get a straight run, they're not sexed, so you don't know what you're getting. We only had, I think, total of 11 hens out of the 25, so I think you have a 50-50 shot, and we did not do as good with that. So the primary thing that we wanted these chickens for was for eggs, but we also slaughtered a bunch of them and got meat from the roosters. We lost 3 hens. We lost them, they got overheated a couple times. I think one got too hot. From a newbie perspective, though, chickens are really easy. I like chickens a lot. They eat almost anything that you can give them. Food scraps, you can give them feed. It's really, really simple. We have this feeder over here that's an automatic feeder. They can come over and eat whenever they want to. There is a training period with that. They have to learn how to use that. It's not hard to teach them. As far as maintenance goes, they're pretty easy. We just have to make sure that they have food, that their food is clean. When it's hot, we have to make sure that they have water spraying them or like misting going on someplace that they can cool down. And then when it's cold, we have to make sure that they have a warm spot. Something that I didn't know is that they don't lay eggs every single day. They only lay eggs about once every 26 hours. There are specific breeds of chickens that lay more. Ours will usually get about an egg every other day. During winter, they stopped laying though. Our chickens are a bigger breed, and so I think it's because they are just bigger. They require more calories to keep warm. And so it gets really cold up here. We didn't put a heater in their chicken coop. We might next year so that we can continue to get egg production and tried that out during the winter, next winter. So they stopped laying from basically December until March, which was kind of a bummer. We still had to feed them and things. But when it comes to feed, they don't eat that much food. They are pretty low maintenance and they're really fun to watch. They're interesting, and I like chickens a lot. These are really cool animals. We also let them go and free range in our garden sometimes. And this year we're building a chicken run that allows them to free range a lot more. Thought somebody was pecking me. They weren't. When we had more roosters, though, it was definitely stressful on the hens, and so we had to make sure and butcher them. You don't have too many roosters to the number of hens that you have because they are aggressive. Our rooster, Rico, was actually not the alpha rooster. He was always a nice rooster, and we chose to keep a rooster that was not super angry and mean and aggressive. We definitely had some aggressive roosters, but we just butcher those roosters, and it turned out really nice. Overall, I think chickens are pretty tough to mess up, and that's why I like them for beginners. We were really busy building our house, so we didn't have a ton of time to invest in animals, and so we wanted something that was low maintenance, and the chickens really did it. So I really suggest chickens. If you have to butcher them, the meat is great. They produce eggs, and they're really generally low maintenance. And you can let your chickens free range too, and that helps the quality of your grass, and you don't have to feed them as much, which is really cool. Let's talk about ducks. So with ducks, we did not get a straight run. We got 3 ducks, and it turned out we got 3 boys, which was a bummer. We were hoping to get some duck eggs. Now, from doing more research, the ducks that I bought, it was on just kind of an impulse. I wanted to get ducks and try it out, and I wasn't sure what to expect. They eat a lot more food. That's kind of a bummer for sure, because they cost more to keep. with our ducks too, we had to have a pool. We have our pool that's not filled anymore. You might notice the ducks are not here. We butchered the ducks because they were not being productive anymore. So we're going to use this space as a quail enclosure. Now, this year we're getting 100 quail, which is going to be exciting. Obviously, we're not going to keep all of those 100. That's a straight run also, so we're going to keep mostly the hens and then butcher a lot of the male quail. And then, but back to ducks. The ducks that we had, they were very nice at the beginning, but then as they got older, they became more and more aggressive. In fact, the big blue Swede actually attacked our poor little dachshund. We were just out walking and we let the ducks free range, and the ducks came right for him and started attacking him. So our poor little Arlo got attacked by Squeaks the duck.
Hey guys.
He wasn't hurt, but it was traumatizing for the little guy. Poor guy. So anyways, back to ducks. They eat more food. When they're egg layers, they're actually less productive than chickens, and they also don't lay as frequently as chickens. And then on top of that too, the thing about ducks is that they're really hard to process. Butchering chickens isn't so bad. I don't have a chicken plucker or anything. I've been plucking all the chickens by hand, which definitely is a lot of work, but ducks are so much more work. It is not worth it. And on top of that, ducks are a lot smaller. I thought the blue Swede, which looks much larger than the chickens, was going to be more meat than the chickens. It was not. I'll show you what I mean here. Looking at the duck, here's our processed duck. I didn't put it shrink wrap because this was too long. I didn't have big enough bags. And this was our chicken. Our chicken is probably, feels like it's 2 pounds bigger. This wasn't a meat bird either. I butchered this one at about 6 months and this one about a year. So this was our biggest duck, and it's probably 6 pounds, somewhere in there. This is probably 7 or 8 pounds, somewhere in there. So overall, I did not care for ducks. I won't do ducks again. I would say if you live by a body of water, like you have a pond on your property, then it would probably make sense. But if you have to build a special enclosure and deal with the water, they're more smelly, just lots and lots of problems, in my opinion. I didn't care for ducks. We won't be doing ducks again. Maybe if we bought a property that had a pond, we'd get ducks and geese and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't think we'd do ducks again. And so here's our rabbit enclosure. We have 4 rabbits right now. Right here is Buck. Down here we have Buttercup. Buttercup is actually pregnant right now. And she's probably gonna have babies in a few days. But we got 6 rabbits. So we had 6 rabbits to begin with. And it turns out only one of them was a female. We thought this guy was a girl, but with immaculate conception, we had babies. Buttercup got pregnant. So that was interesting. Rabbits have been really cool. We actually have a space outside built for them right now, and we did have runs for them during the spring and summer. We put them indoors. So we had a shed that was outside that we had them in. After about October, we put them in. The shed actually blew over when we had 60-mile-an-hour winds. These cages saved Bunny's life, kind of like a cage inside of the shed. We were able to tear the shed down apart and tear it apart around them and save these cages and save our bunnies, which was really good. So typically our rabbits will be outside. We'll bring them in probably when we breed them, or separate them when we breed them in a hutch that we'll probably build outside. But right now we're just kind of doing what works. Rabbits have been really low maintenance. They're actually really sweet. I like rabbits a lot. I don't have too many negatives, other than when you have them in an enclosure like this, you have to take out their manure, clean them out, and stuff like that. If they're out grazing and free ranging, it is very, very nice. They help the grass grow, and they create a lot of really good fertilizer. When it comes to processing and butchering rabbits, they're actually the easiest animal to process compared to any of the other animals. It takes just a few minutes. We did end up tanning the hides that we got. We butchered 4 of the rabbits. We had Buttercup had babies. She had 10 babies. We actually sold 8 babies, so now we have 4 additional rabbits. So I really like rabbits. They're very low maintenance. They're very kind. They're fun to play with. The kids love them. A few drawbacks is, though, when you do use them for meat, or if you're going to sell them, kids get really attached. And so you have to make sure and set expectations properly, because the kids get sad for sure. It's not easy to butcher these things. They are adorable. I don't think it should be easy though, to be completely honest. I think like, you know, there's no butchering that I enjoy for sure, but I think that having that connection to the food that you are raising is actually a good thing. I think a lot of times you take for granted where your food comes from, especially if you're eating meat, that it is a living thing that you're consuming. And so butchering it makes you really aware of that. So I don't think that that's a drawback, that just is a fact, right? It's a lot harder to butcher things that are adorable and cute. So if I had to say what my favorites were from a food production standpoint, I think it's chicken, because you get eggs, you get meat, you can grow a flock if you want to by incubating the eggs. They're super easy to take care of. If it comes from just the general animals that I like best, it'd probably be the rabbits. They're really sweet. You can have them and have them as pets. They're really low maintenance. So between chickens and rabbits, I really love them. I think that ducks, definitely, you have to have, I think, a specific need for them. They're just a lot more work, a lot more food. They eat a lot more food, and just more work to get production out of them. So this year we are adding on a bunch of things. We are adding goats, we are adding quail, turkey, we're doing meat birds, that we're doing pasture meat birds. We're doing a lot more things inside of our garden, and so hopefully we get even more experience that is positive, and we're able to really find out and figure out what's going to work best for us and our property based on the needs that we have. Hopefully we can get a cow too. That's another thing that we want to be getting. So if you're interested at all in homesteading, we've been building our house and our homestead here for the past year. If you're interested in that, be sure to follow along, subscribe, like this video, and also comment down below, what is your favorite animal? Let me know in the comments what your favorite animal is, and if you think we should try anything. Have a great day, everybody, and see you on the next video. Hi, guys. Look at all the duckies. They're growing so big. Time for their clean out.